Hey guys, it happened that recently I got an experience which no one is ever want to, but I mean life happens. I got a bit of a car accident in Poland, and I'd like to share with you the experience of what happens during this process. Because I mean, even in your native home country, it's not always a pleasant experience. But being a foreigner in another country, you start, getting challenged, being challenged by, I mean, what to do, what's the process. Start googling. It's a by itself a stressful situation, and it's multiplied by, well, a lot of confusion on how to process in the foreign country. So with that being said, I just planning to share with you my own experience, hoping that it will help you in, I mean, I wish you would never get in this situation, but if you will, you would know at least what to do. As usually, disclaimer, this is not legal advice, it's just my personal experience and sharing my findings, and the final decision of your actions is up to you as usually. So, before we'll start, the very first thing I want to share is the terms, the glossary. There's a two terms in Polish which is related to accident, which is kolizia and wypadek. Kolizia is a case when there is just damage to some stuff, some goods. So your car is damaged, maybe you hit, I don't know, some wall, some I don't know, bicycle, etc. But there's no people damaged. That is Kolizia. But Wypadek is the case when there's some harm given to some people and major harm, so meaning the results of this are going to impact their health for more than 7 days or up to a death of the person. And we'll use those two terms for further steps. So first things first, you have got an accident and what happens next. Especially people from Eastern Europe are pretty much confused about it. So what to do next, considering so first of all, move or stay. In Eastern Europe, there's a quite common rule that whenever you got into accident, you have to stay in the place, like to keep the cars as close as possible to how the accident happened. In Poland, this is pretty much different, depending on whether it was actually, like I said, Kolizia or Wypadek. There is decision. If it was just a Kolizia, like just a damage to a car and nothing more, and if car can move on, and there's you made sure that there's no impact on the people and it's safe to move the car away from the road, it's expected by the laws actually that you will move away the car from the actual acting road as soon as possible to avoid blocking the road and to avoid causing more incidents or accidents on the road itself. So basically, the difference here is that you're expected to move away. I don't know honestly what they're doing in case if some your opponent will start claiming some different situation from what was happening, and basically lying to, for example, police that everything moved in a different way. Thanks God, in my case, my opponent was extremely reasonable and he just took it all fault by on himself because he really did wrong. But and I also had. Dash cam, which so I was pretty much comfortable. But in general, if it is safe to move away, actually it's expected here that you will move away on the side of the road, on the left side or the right side, but still you'll move to the side of the road. That's the first thing. If it is actually so-called Wypadek, if you damage some person, that's a different story. Then usually it's considered that probably it might be not safe to move away the car and so on, and that's when you, or if car is in the state that you cannot move it away, then yeah, you have to just ensure reasonable safety. You'll have to put a triangle, the kind of accident triangle behind the car, not right behind the car. Rules prescribe that you'll have to put it like 50 to 100 meters behind it and so on. Don't forget to put on in any case, the vest, the reflecting vest that you have to have in your car, and don't obviously forget to turn on the blinkers that are damage blinkers. So this is the very first step. Make sure, so in simple terms, make sure there is no damage given to any individual person. If there are, you have to call as soon as possible the 112, the emergency services, and ask for medical services and the fire service if needed, obviously notifying cars, the police, and so on. But if there is just a mechanical collision, you're expected to move away the car and then take care about the rest. Next, the next question which comes to your, okay, you're on the side, you're safe. Now you're talking with your opponent and you're trying to figure out the, very common question. Police or no police? Should you call the police or not? In my case, for example, my opponent said, yeah, it's my fault. He claimed that, yeah, it was totally his mistake, but he asked me not to call the police because then they will put him 6 points for his fault and kind of fine for his violation and so on and so on. He said, like, I have insurance, just will write down that I'm in the wrong and you'll just claim the repair from the insurance, and considering the damage was not so big, like, can we just avoid calling the police? And I almost got it, except that I just called to my insurer and they said, like, are you crazy? Kind of, you have to go and call the police because, I mean, still up to you. There's still kind of a decision making. You still can go without the police for minor incidents. You can, I will mention in the next slide what you can do in that case. But consider things. First, if it is so-called Wypadek, if people are harmed, you must call the police. No other options. If there's a high level of damage, I mean total car devastation and so, or major damage, you might still consider calling the police. If there's an alcohol, you definitely want to call the police. And on especially if it's on the opposite side, I hope you're not drinking driving ever. But also consider what my insurer told me. Okay, let's say you are not calling the police right now and you're saying everything is good and so on, but tomorrow that guy is calling the police and saying, oh, there was a smell of alcohol from you, and you cannot prove it otherwise because no one have checked whether you was sober or not. So this way, the alcohol level is, police will check your alcohol level. One more thing, remember, you are the foreigner. There are special considerations with the foreigners, and they're considered risky, and police want to check your driving license and your eligibility to stay here and so on. When you're a foreigner, in most cases, you want to call the police. Or if you got to hit the other foreigner, this is another reason why you might put it as a red flag to call the police. And consider how, slimy and shaky your opponent is, because yeah, today he will write down that he is okay, kind of okay, he take the claim that yeah, he is in fault, but tomorrow he'll say, oh, I was in shock and I'm rejecting my acceptance that it was my fault, I'm thinking this and probably I wasn't in fault, and then you start the long way of negotiating and trying to prove that everything happened like, and it's your word versus the word of your opponent. So also you can consider when there's some suspicious insurance, like some ridiculous piece of paper or missing that, some insurance company which you never heard about. Well, that can be an extra risk for you to call the police. For me, like I said, my insurance company, considering I'm a foreigner, considering all the things, suggested to call the police, and I did. Police can be called in Poland via the phone number 112. They will come, they will do the alco test of both of you, and in place they will define who is in charge, who is kind of in fault of the accident by their opinion, and they will suggest to pay that person a fine right away. And by the way, there might be a mutual fault as well, then you both will be in charge and will both pay the fine for that. You can also reject, they will suggest you the option to reject their decision and go to court and, kind of complain there. But if there's a kind of clear enough case, then most probably court will just have more severe penalties than police will provide to you. So unless there are real reasons to claim that it's kind of not you, you'd better, if it is really your fault, it's better to accept it. But let's take the example. In my example, my opponent was at fault, but police was called. They put kind of all the registered case, and my opponent paid the fine. Sorry for him, but well, it is what it is. Uh, Eventually, in my case, what was surprising me, they never given to me any registration, any ID of this incident. They haven't given to me even to read any protocol or anything. They just registered something in their electronic system and said, "Yeah, it will be passed to electronic system in the evening. I don't even have any idea about this incident. It will be assigned in the evening, and that's it." I was quite surprised. This is kind of valid and legit, like the way, but I was told that yeah, sometimes it happened like that, and it's kind of fine. You have the number. You have officially called the police by 112, and it can be extracted from the police department if needed by separate request. Well, although even if you call the police and register everything, don't forget to gather the offender's information about his insurance and his details and so on. I will mention on the next page what you want, because still you'll want to put the claim to his insurance company, and well, you will need this information. So, and like I said, police is not going to share it with you, so you'd better take care of yourself. So whether you call the police or not, so if you didn't call the police, it's your decision, up to you, like I said, but you can go with so-called Europrotocol, if preferably to have one template in your car. But if you don't, you can even use just a regular piece of paper and then write down the Ashvechenia, which should include the details of what happened, what cars, obviously names and surnames of different sides, the details of their license, registration of the cars, insurance number of the offender, plus the insured name of it. Plus description of what happened, who is claiming that he is at fault, preferably if your opponent says, yeah, that's my fault, I'm acknowledging that. Date and time, the exact location where it happened, and sign off and so on. You can find a lot of templates in the internet. If you want, we Google that in literally a few seconds via the Google on the phone. Although, even if police was your decision, still you want to gather this at least basic information, your like car, like number of insurance and insurer, name and surname of the offender, and location and date time. Plus, I would recommend to make photos of the damages and the car of the opponent. And his license plate, and if there was some damage to his side, also his side, because today, like I said, today you're being considered victim, tomorrow, you know, the deck can change. So with that being said, now you got registered at the police, you got information about your offender, you're coming down and you go home, nothing more you can do here. So next steps, now what? Next step, preferably not the same day, because you're still full of adrenaline on the same day. Don't do it under impression. Next day, go to insurance. Not just literally go, you can call them by the phone number or find their website and register the case. It's not mandatory to do it like as soon as possible. There's a quite a reasonable amount of time. Police told me that up to a year or something. Obviously, you don't want to wait too much, but I didn't check these dates anywhere anywhere in the internet. But as far as I said, definitely it's not like as soon as possible. So you're just going there and registering this case to the insurance company of the offender. So what you want to do, there will be a lot of questions from their side, like when it happened, what was damaged, what type of your build of your car, and a lot of different questions, whether the police was called, blah, blah, blah. What you want at the end of this, you want to report all this and get the incident report number. That's the main thing out of it. You will get the incident report number, and most probably insurance company will start right away bombarding you with some suggestions like, oh, we can just try, kind of, let's cut it short and like maybe we can just cut it in like a few $100 right away. We are seeing it like best offer right now, like immediate offer. Let's accept something as soon as possible. Don't accept anything as soon as possible. You are not in a rush. You don't have to make any decisions on the fly, whether on the call or on the website. Take your time. There's no rush. They will try to make it the feeling of a rush. Oh, we want to fix your car. Like the sooner you accept our offer, the better. Like we'll get your car running smoothly as soon as possible. you're not in a rush to make any decisions. Take your time. Don't get their pace. It's in their interest. Most probably, after you will report the claim, they will almost right away will send a special person who is qualified to evaluate the damage on your car. He will come and check your car for official damage. In my case, he sneaked out to my parking even without me and looked at my car without me. I don't know how much legal or correct or not, but he didn't get any kind of sign off from you. He just looked in the car, made his photos, and made his own judgment on how much does it cost. It's just official evaluation. It's not file evaluation. They will share it with you, saying like, okay, this person evaluated that damages per this amount of money. And you don't have to take it. It's just informational for you at this point in time. And like I said, yet again, insurance company will start bombarding with proposal like, yeah, we can accept it quickly. We can fix it in our service. We can accept. We can fix it in. We can send you the money. Please accept this amount of money. So on. Think carefully. Don't get rushed. I would suggest to go next to car service. So choose the car service where you want to fix. Well, if you want to fix it with the insurance car service, you can accept their offer, obviously. But I guess supposedly you might consider your own car service. And as you understand, not all car services are made the same. So first thing comes in your mind, usually some official car service. They have considered to have a high quality of fixing, but you should understand they typically are highly expensive and not always offer a best service in terms of fixing damages. Well, in my case it was also the same and following it up. So, but well, think that, but you can consider them. Most probably, their price will be much higher than the valuation from the insurance company. Uh, Consider that some car services might provide you service in terms of communication with the insurance company. Most probably, you're not native speaker, so communication with insurance company might take some efforts from you. Some if that will be taken away from you by the car service company, well, is better for you probably. Maybe some that your car service might even help you with registering your initial claim because there are a lot of tricky questions and maybe the specialist and usually those companies have a dedicated specialist on dealing with the insurance claims. They can help you to fill in the insurance claim properly so that some wrongly filled field won't bite you later. And some services provide you replacement car, and it will be just charged to the insurance company for the time when your car is being fixed. Quite a handful thing, even if it is a kind of lower class than yours, it's still four wheels, right? And at this point, what you want to get at least is the price estimate of your chosen service for the damage you've got, for how much actually money they are ready to fix it. And you might find that it might be different from what your insurance company is offering you, or might not. So like I said, some car services company are taking it from here by themselves, and they're just negotiating it with insurance company by themselves. You just sit back and relax, or take it probably a few days. But that's one option, best case scenario. In my case, my car service didn't do it as efficiently, so they asked me to communicate with the insurance company. So it was like a communication, freeway communication between me, car service, and insurance company. So with that being said, uh, I got to the situation when I got an offer from insurance company, which wasn't that bad. It was just like it was 20% higher than official evaluation of by their expert, but still less than the price that was given to me by the car service. But it was like just 5% less because I didn't want to fix the bumper. It was just a scratch. My main goal was to fix just a mirror. So eventually, the damage evaluation that insurance company was given for bumper plus mirror was good enough for me to fix just a mirror. And I honestly agreed with that. Like, I don't care about a few scratches on the bumper, but mirror was major for me. So I just, and even though they suggested, like, just mutual agreement, just kind of gentleman agreement that okay, here's kind of amount of money we suggest to pay you, and just will be fine. I suggest, okay guys, make it like 5% more. It will cover the repair I basically need, and I will agree with you. So you can negotiate. My point here is you can negotiate, and I did negotiate, and I agreed. Like, yeah, here 5% extra. Okay, fine. Just sign off on this contract. We are paying you off whatever you need. But I already had the preliminary evaluation from the car service that they will fix what I need for that amount of money. So basically, I agreed, and they paid it back to me. Sometimes they can, and for me it was simple. From there, I took it, and it was just a standard pair for which you're aware of. Alternatively, sometimes the car service can pay not get paid for by the insurance company directly, not by yourself. In my case, the insurance company paid directly to my account, but in sometimes the insurance company will provide a direct confirmation to car service themselves that they will cover the repair, and then the money transfer will go between the insurance company and the car service and avoiding you. It depends. I mean, no harm, but just for you to be aware that it's an option. So from there, yeah, it took me 3 weeks of this communication and a bit of annoyance from this information flow, and took some time, but eventually I'm here. And well, I guess not much more to tell you here. I hope that will help you if you will get, I hope you won't ever, but if you'll get to the same situation, at least it will help you to understand what can be the sequences of your action, and it will help you to stress less in that honestly stressful situation. So I wish you all the best and never to get into a similar situation as I did. So yeah.